Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's see to the introduction. Ibn Battuta 1304 until 1368/69 was a Moroccan explorer renowned for his extensive travel across Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and part of Europe. Over nearly 30 years, he covered approximately 70,000 miles, documenting his experience in the Rihla, a valuable record of 14th century culture and societies. Okay, now we move to the background. This part was divided into three ways, which is background and education, the word of Rihlah, and the last one is word adventure. Okay, now let we see about the background and education. His full name is Shams ad-Din Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Muhammad ibn Ibrahim ibn Muhammad ibn Yusuf Lawati al-Tanji ibn Battuta. Born on February 24, 1304 in Tangier, Morocco. Ibn Battuta came from a family of Islamic scholars and received an education in Islamic jurisprudence. Okay, now we move to the work of Rihlah. His travelogue, known as Rihlah, provides a deep insight into the culture, geography, and society of the 14th century and is an important source of Islamic history and anthropology. And the last part is word adventure. He traveled for almost 30 years, covering around 120,000 kilometers, and visited almost all Muslim countries and areas as far as China and Sumatra.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inshallah. Now we move to the next part, which is the contribution toward Islamic education of Ibn Battuta. Okay, as we know, Ibn Battuta is one of the greatest Muslim travelers in history. He made significant contribution to Islamic education through his extensive journeys and detailed documentation. He traveled across the Islamic world and beyond, visiting places like North Africa, the Middle East, India, China, and even parts of Europe. As we know, Ibn Battuta made many contributions to Islamic education. First, through his travel book Rihlah, he documented the cultures, educational system, scholars, and Islamic practice in different regions. This helped preserve the knowledge of how Islam is practiced in diverse ways around the world. Second, his writing inspired to seek knowledge and explore the world, following the Islamic principle of traveling to learn. Lastly, by recording the Muslim societies he visited, Ibn Battuta preserved important historical information that is studied today.
Okay, now we are going to the next part, which is analysis on one of the scholar published work. We choose the Rihlah as one of the published work by Ibn Battuta. The first one is the Rihlah is high value as a primary source, since it gives people the ability to gain insight into history. The second one, the Rihlah makes people understand and clearly the commercial. And the third one, exemplifies the issues that affected the world as a whole in the 14th century. Next, the Rihlah provides a rare first-hand account of global interconnectedness during the 14th century. The Rihlah also focused almost exclusively on the Islamic world and region connected to it, offering later on Europe or areas beyond his travel scope. Now we are going to the last part, which is conclusion. We conclude that Ibn Battuta, a 14th century Muslim traveller and scholar, made significant contribution to Islamic education through his extensive travels and detailed documentation. After performing the Hajj to Mecca, he journeyed across North Africa, the Middle East, Central Asia, India, Southeast Asia, and China. Throughout his travel, he studied local cultures, tradition and governance, while engaging with scholars and leaders. His work Rihlah offered valuable insight into the geography, culture, and religious practices of the Muslim world, enhancing the spread of Islamic knowledge and fostering inter-civilizational understanding. That's all from our group. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.